Hello guys, today we're going to talk about how we can create our own functions in Python programming. Remember in our last video, we looked at some functions that are already in the Python programming environment. But in today's video, we are going to look at how we can create our own function. Now let's start with the first question. So the first question wants us to write a function that is called say my name. And whenever that function is called, it should print my name. Why do we need to be writing function in programming? Function is very, very essential in programming. It helps you to organize your program. It also makes your program look very smart. Apart from being organized, it makes it look very smart and easy to work on. So to start creating function, you need this keyword called dev. After the dev, you need the function name. So in our case, we have the function name given to be say my name, and you close it. So once you hit enter, the cursor will take you to a position where you need to write every program that should be under this function name. The only program we want to be under this function is a program that will print my name. So we go ahead and use the print statement. And let's assume that my name is Emma. So I will come here, use my print statement and print the name Emma. That is it. So now, if we run this program, we expect that this will print my name Emma. But let's see what happens. So to run, I'll go to here and click run and expect my name to come out here, but it didn't come out. Why? This is because I've not called a function. We need to call the function before the code under the function can be executed. So let's call that function. You can call this function in two different ways. One way is to get the function name and put it on this command prompt and hit your return key. If you see, when you hit your return key, you see the word Emma printed out. So this is one way to call the function. Another way to call the function is to end your program or your code with the function name, such that after executing everything under the function name, the last command of code will be calling the function to perform the operation or to display whatever it has inside it. Now, let's clear this and run the program again. So when we run the program, you see it prints the word Emma without us coming to the command prompt to call the name. This is how you can create your program, your function in Python. You need to define the function name by using the keyword dev, and you need to put the function name. Then you need to ensure that everything you are writing is under that function name, except the keyword or the function name that needs to call that particular function. Now let's look at the second example. We have the second question here, and the second question says that we should write a sum difference function that asks the user to enter two numbers using two separate questions. So we want to ask the user to enter numbers using two separate questions. And the output should be 1, the sum of those two numbers, 2, the difference of those two numbers. Let's start with this program. The first we need to do is we say dev, and the function name has been given to us to be sum difference. Remember to close this. And the next line of action is that we want to get the first value or the first number. So we can say first number is equal to, how do we get this number from the user? We use the input keyword. But let's assume we want the number to be an integer, then we can use this int, and inside here we have to use our input. And in our input, we can ask the user to enter the first number. Okay, we can do a similar thing by copying this, and once we come here, instead of saying first, we now say second number. And we can quickly come here to say second. Okay, so this will ask the user to enter the first and the second number. Then the next thing we need to do is to calculate the sum. The sum is equal to the first number plus the second number. These are the two numbers the user entered. Then the difference, let's call it div, is equal to the first number minus the second number. So now we have the first and the second number. We have the difference, is the sum and the difference. We want to print them. We have to print first of them is sum. The first one is the sum. Then we have to print the second one, which is the difference. Okay, so print the difference. Now let's use the second method of calling this function. So if we close it, look at what will happen. If we run this function, it will, if we run this program, it will run this one and run this one at the same time. But we only want to run this, so we have to comment this out. Yeah, so let's now run this one. Before we do that, let's clear this page. Let's run this. I'm only clearing it so we can see the current outcome. So then it says enter the first number. So it says here, it is the program is running this line by telling us to enter the first number. Let's have our first number to be 5. Then it wants us to enter our second number, which is this. We enter the second number to be 3. Okay, then the program will go ahead to calculate the sum, calculate the difference, then print the sum and print the difference. Let's go ahead and do that. You see, our first print is the sum, and our sum is the addition of the first and the second number, which is 8, and it is correct. Then the second one is the difference, which is the subtraction of the first, the second from the first number. And if you do that, which is 2, and is correct. But if you look at this outcome, or the output rather, you will realize that it doesn't give more details about 8 and 2. So to make it more detailed, we can say here that the second, the sum of the two numbers is, okay, then we put comma, sum. We can do something very similar here, saying the difference of the two numbers is, then we put, so let's run this program again. I'm using my keyboard to run the program. So if we run it again, so we have enter the first number. Let's enter the same number as before. We have 5. Enter the second number, which is 3. then it will go ahead and print a sum. It says the sum of the two numbers is 8. The difference of the two numbers is 2. So this is how you can make the program look more, interesting. We'll go ahead and have the third question before we end. I don't want this video to be too long. The third one says, the question is asking us to write a program and the function name should be 10 hellos. So let's start. The function name is 10 hellos. We're going to be quick here. And under it, what we need to do, we want to print this hello world. This is what we want to print, and we want to print it 10 times. So ordinarily, if you want to print a word, what we do something like this. Okay, if we run this program, it's going to print this hello world once, right? So how do we go about printing it 10 times? We can use this for, that is for I in a range. Remember, we used range in our last video, a range. So when you use range, whatever you have inside a range, we command the program to go for how long you have for how long the number is. So in our case, we want to go 10 times. So in this case, whatever we have under this function, under this range, will be executed 10 times. So, and what we have here is this hello world. So what is going to happen? Now let's close this. Let's use our second method to call the function. So before we go about running this program, let's close this one. So I'll bring it up a bit for us to see. Yeah, now we have this. This is what we have. Let's run it and see what the outcome is. So it printed hello world, hello world, hello world, hello world into 10 times. So in summary, before you create your function in Python programming, don't forget the keyword def, and don't forget the function name and other things that are involved. With whatever program you want to be under that function should be well organized under the function. Please go ahead and practice this. And if you have questions, drop your question under the comment section. I will have a look and respond to you. Thank you so much.